What's up, YouTube? This is Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris, and I am back with a brand new video. This is a little bit of a different video. It is a comic haul. This is an auction that I won on eBay for actually a really good price, and it's actually funny because within winning this, I didn't expect after I read, I didn't expect before I read these books to actually get so, to actually come across something that is a little bit interesting with this character. So what I'm speaking about is, or the character I'm speaking about is someone I talked on the JLS Live show, JLS Comics Live show this Thursday about, and that is Tim Drake, the third Robin. I won an auction for, it was I think around, total with shipping, about $11 for a lot of about 6 books, and you know, really happy that I got it because, I mean, overall, you know, these are good books to have. So I was able to pick up, and this one's out of the plastic. I took it out, and it's out for a reason. I'll show you later. But you got the first appearance of Tim Drake. So this is Tim Drake, not as Robin, just as Tim Drake. First appearance of him. Also got the, I think, the third printing, because this one has a slightly darker bat right there. Like this one's like a darker red, the other one's kind of an orangey color. Next up we got number 438. Let's show that a little better, it's a glare. 439, 440, 441, and issue number 442. Alright, so back to what I was saying. So why he's an interesting character. So Tim Drake, just to look at, and there's no date initially on this, but I'm going to just look and see. So this book came out, I want to say, alright, so this book, 436, came out in 1989. And the funniest part with that is, so remember that year, 1989. And also, and I'm going to tie this into a theory of mine that I came up with, just based off of, and it's a very weak theory, I guess, but I mean, it's still one that could be plausible, depending on how you see it, and it could actually have something to do with why, you know, some future events, why he's been singled out, and I'll get to that in a second as well. So, 1989, this came out. Batman has been around since the 30s, all right? Robin, I think, debuted in 1940 or 41. I forget exactly which, but Robin has been around. Dick Grayson as Robin has been around for a long time. Now, I'll just show you this. So, looking at this, right? When you look in the cover, this is a very specific event that's happening. Now, this is Tim Drake, like I said, Tim Drake's first appearance. This very specific event has to do with the character on the cover. Actually, one in particular. This is Dick Grayson, Nightwing, right here, right? This is also Dick Grayson, right here. So, this is the night that his parents died. The Flying Graysons died at the circus. Alright, and there's Dick crying right there. Now, I'm going to get into the book itself real quick and get you to the spot where you see it. Where is it? Should have been a little bit better prepared for this, but no problem. Actually, should I just show? Let me see. I'll get back to that part, but I will take to this here. So, where is he? Where is he? Okay. So, right here, in this lower panel, right over here, let me get to there, right there. That little boy, this little boy right here, that's Tim Drake. Okay? So Tim Drake is there, and, you know, they're, you know, sitting there, and just to prove it, so this is right after the wiring snapped and the Graysons have fallen to their death. And if you look, it says, it's a little blurry, I'm sorry, my camera's not the greatest, but it says, Timmy, don't look. Now, his origin, and then there's Tim Drake pointing out, you know, the people that did it. But it's just like, you know, you look at that, that is back in what, like the 1940s, the 1930s, somewhere in there. 1940s or 30s. And then you see young Dick Grayson crying, being taken in by the nun for the orphanage, you know. And it's just like, you look at that. Okay. So Tim Drake, as a child, has been basically in the Batman universe since the 40s, basically. Even though this book came back in '89, he's been there for all that time. And just so happens to show up in 1989 again and takes over as Robin. He hasn't aged much at all. I mean, that says something about comic book aging. He hasn't aged a bit. You know, only a few years, because, I mean, I guess in the book he's supposed to be around, I think he's supposed to be, around, let's say around 13, 14 years old. You know, so it's just like, the funny thing that ties in with him is just, you know, there's got to be more to Tim Drake than meets the eye, and I don't know if that's why in the comics, in Rebirth, they decided to, you know, basically do something taking him out of time, you know, because of Mr. Oz kind of snatching him and just basically not deleting him, but just taking him out of the continuity and leaving him in that, like, limbo area. And this happened, I think, back in Detective Comics is where it went, like, where Tim Drake went missing. But the funny thing is just that, where did he go? You know what I mean? All that time, where was he? I mean, I guess you can, if you really want to, think about it. How does Tim Drake go from being a little kid in the crowd watching from back in the day, Tim Drake's parents die, you know what I mean? Not Tim Drake, watching Dick Grayson's parents die. Where Dick Grayson, I mean, and him, I mean, if you look at that, him and Dick Grayson got to be around the same age. They have to be, because they were both at the same spot. And they both look to be around, I mean, they were both very young. But in the comics, Dick is older than Tim. So, is Tim Drake a time traveler? Maybe. Is this not the first time that he's been plucked out of the time stream and put back? What if Tim Drake has an actual bigger role than anybody even knows? What if he's actually working with this Mr. Oz character? Just for the fact that you look at it and it's just, how does he maintain his age so much? And then all of a sudden he's singled out. I mean, Tim Drake has been a part of some storylines, but he's never been a major part of anything. And he's not really a major part of this one either. They just plucked him out. So, you know, kind of a fun conspiracy, kind of a fun theory to sit there and say, oh, you know, what's up with Tim Drake? How come he's so old? He's old. Tim Drake, based on this book, and if you don't believe me, go ahead and pick up Batman number 436. You could probably get this for really cheap, probably less than $5. Go check it out. If you can get it as a part of a lot, do it, because I mean, that's what I did, and I got a whole bunch. I got pretty much the whole storyline. I'm only missing number 437 in this run, and you get to kind of see Tim Drake has always been there. He's literally just kind of, you know, they just never highlighted him until '89. So he's there's something strange with him. There's something up with him. And then you look at, so this issue here is, I think the first time that he actually puts on the Robin suit. Batman was in trouble and he needed some help, and he put on the suit to try to help him out. And at the end of that issue, you know, he says to Jason Todd, he's like, you know, what's going on? I'm sorry, Jason Todd. Jason Todd's dead. My bad. He says to Tim Drake, you know, why do you, you know, do you want to be Robin? Like, what's going on? And he's like, I do. But he's like, but I don't want to keep the suit. He's like, I'll mess up. I don't want to, you know, disgrace the name. Like, you know, I want to earn it, and I haven't done that yet. He's a really, really humble character, really cool character. But it's just funny. Like, it's just like, why Tim Drake, and why is he? I mean, and I might be looking way too far into this, and you guys can let me know. But I just feel like Tim Drake is a good character. I think that, you know, I've always kind of had a feeling about him as far as being the best choice of a successor to Batman. Now, not to say that Dick Grayson isn't a very strong choice. I mean, he's got so many more connections than Tim Drake does to, you know, the entire DC universe, both you know, villains and heroes. He's been around longer as far as actually crime fighting is concerned, and he's built up his own reputation as Nightwing. You know, he's you know, basically a revered member of the Teen Titans. You know, he's a legend in his own right. Like, he should be in the Justice League, but he's really not. He just kind of does his own thing, which makes him unique, because even though he should be, you know, he could easily fit into any team, and he does from time to time, but he'd rather do things on his own. And I think that Tim Drake kind of has a little bit of that in him as well as he's got the detective skills and you know, just kind of the mindset of Batman, which I think makes him a better fit than Dick Grayson does, because Dick and Bruce always clashed. They always had problems. It was just, you know, Dick was always angling for credit. He always wanted Bruce to tell him, like, hey man, you saved my life, thank you. You know, he just wanted to thank you for what he was doing. He wanted, you know, and Bruce would never give him that. Never give him that credit. On the other side, you don't see Bruce really doing that for Tim. Tim just kind of goes with the flow, and he understands his role is Robin, and that's it. He's supposed to be the guy that's there to, you know, help when help is needed, and you know, kind of stay back when he's not needed, things like that. So I think that's why my theory is as to why he'd be a better Batman. I think that he's the best fit, because I think even though he is now Red Robin, but as Robin, he understood his role, and he understood where Batman stayed, and I guess kind of the separation between both. He never did his best to get too close to Batman, even though he found out his identity on his own, which I think was also kind of cool too. But just it's kind of a funny thing, and so when I say that you know, it's something to pay attention to, if you're reading like you know, the if you're reading the story of Mr. Oz, trying to figure out who he is, what he's up to, everything like that. Like right now, they're focused on Superman. They haven't really stepped, I think, too much into Batman, and that's where I think it's going to get a little interesting. Because if they decided to, they could really do something cool with Tim Drake and really, you know, give him kind of a, I don't know, just kind of legitimize the fact that he's been in the universe for so long. And I think that's something that no one really knows about, unless you go back and you read all these old books. I think that no one really, people skip over Tim Drake because, you know, he's just kind of he's been like a B-list, C-list character for so long. But there's more to him than meets the eye, at least to me. So you guys let me know what you think, you know, whether you think he's a time traveler, whether you think that he has some ties for Mr. Oz, whether you think he's working with Mr. Oz. What if he is Mr. Oz? I mean, probably not, because of the fact that, you know, Mr. Oz has some type of, you know, he's coming off as a lot more powerful than what he is. But, you know, you never know. You never know. And this would be a kind of a cool double cross where Tim Drake, you know, could say, like, I've been around this whole time. Like, you know, I've been in and out of the time continuum multiple times. I know what's going on. It could be kind of cool. And then also, this book I got as well. So, kind of a side note. So I got this one. This is his first actual appearance as Robin. This is when he takes on the role and becomes actual Robin. So, another good book to get. You can get it cheap. You know, don't pay a lot of money for it. Just, you know, take a look. You know, scour through some auctions and see what you can come up with. But other than that, you know, like I said, I went on a Tim Drake kick. I got a whole bunch of books starring him, and got pleasantly surprised to find out that, guess what? He's been around in the Batman universe, at least. He's been in the universe since the same time that, basically, he's probably about the same age as Dick Grayson, but they don't portray him as that. So it makes me wonder how he stayed young and what he's up to. So check that out. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm far-reaching. I don't know. But let me know what you think. And, I don't know. Thanks for watching. Again, it's been Buckshot33, a.k.a. Boston Chris. And everybody have a good weekend. Everybody who's down in Florida, be safe, be careful. You know, as everybody knows, Florida's getting, you know, battered pretty good by Hurricane Irma. So everybody who is down in Florida, stay safe. If you have family or friends in Florida, be sure to check in with them, make sure that they're all right. With that, I'm going to get going. I'm going to have some more videos coming this week. I have just a bunch of stuff to do. It's been about 3 weeks since I made a video, just because I've been busy, but I have some new books that I got. I got some back issues that I got to show. So definitely check out the channel. There's going to be some new stuff coming up very soon. All right. Again, this is Buckshot 33, aka Boston and Chris. I'm out. Have a good weekend, everybody.